What if events went differently? What if the Winter Soldier killed Captain America in the second installment of Captain America, the Winter Soldier? In today's fanfiction, we will take a look at another timeline where Captain America was killed. How would this affect the MCU timeline as a whole? Without wasting any more time, let's dive right into the fanfiction. Captain America was refusing to fight with Bucky when the ship collided with the Triskelion. Steve told Bucky that he was his friend and that he should not continue being influenced by Hydra. Bucky held back temporarily, but then he remembered the horrible experiments that he underwent while under Hydra's influence. Bucky moved back a little and stared at Steve. He choked Steve and asked him why Steve didn't save him earlier. If only Steve had searched for him when he went missing instead of being the pride of America, things would have been different. Steve said that he needed to fight against the Red Skull and Hydra. It was either the country or his friends. He said that he tried to search for him, but to no avail. Bucky, now enraged, refused to believe Steve and continued to pummel him. Unknowingly, Bucky landed a powerful snap to Steve's neck and Steve fell into the river below. In this timeline, Bucky would bring to shore Steve, but he was unaware that Steve Rogers was already dead by then. By the time Steve was brought to the woods, Bucky realized that there was no pulse on Steve and he was horrified. He had just wanted to beat up Steve badly, but not to the point of death. Not knowing what to do, Bucky fled to the woods and disappeared. Several hours later, a group of bypassers came across Steve's lifeless body and they recognized him as Captain America. Eventually, the news hit of Steve Rogers' death and it came to light. The rest of the Avengers were devastated at the news. A funeral was held for Steve. With S.H.I.E.L.D. crumbling, Natasha appears for the Senate subcommittee, while Fury, under the cover of his apparent death, heads to Eastern Europe in pursuit of Hydra's remaining cells. In this timeline, instead of Rogers and Wilson and searching for the Winter Soldier, with Steve's death, Wilson vowed to search for the Winter Soldier. The rest of the Avengers also vowed to do the same. They wanted to bring in the Winter Soldier for his crimes against the world and also against Steve. With Steve dead, the events of Civil War would not occur. Iron Man decided to keep the shield of Captain America, first as he felt that there was no one who could have the same caliber to fill in Captain America's shoes yet. Sam Wilson undergone training to be the new Avenger. Events of Age of Ultron would be the same with the absence of Steve Rogers. His role, however, would not be that critical in Age of Ultron, as the main characters were Tony, Banner, Ultron, Wanda, Pedro, and Vision. After the events of Age of Ultron, there would be no events of the Sokovia Accords, as the Avengers were united when trying to stop Crossbones from stealing the biological weapons from the lab of Legos. Rumlow this time did not fight against Steve, but instead squared off against Sam and Natasha. Rumlow gained the upper hand, but Wanda managed to use her telekinesis to stop Rumlow from continuing. Natasha then shot a tranquilizer dart, knocking out Rumlow, and no explosion occurred, killing anyone. As a result, the idea of the Sokovia Accords were non-existent, as the Avengers were stronger than ever with the death of Steve Rogers. Tony would then proceed to create his Iron Legion, as Steve was not here to obstruct his idea. With the Iron Legion in preparation, the rest of the Avengers continued tracking down the Winter Soldier, who has gone completely off the radar. There was no conference held in Vienna, meaning that King T'Chaka would still be the king of Wakanda. Eventually, Sharon Carter gained insight of Barnes, who was hiding in Burgast. The rest of the Avengers this time would go and track down the Winter Soldier, and this time there was no one trying to save him, unlike in the Civil War events. The Avengers gained the upper hand and easily when they outnumbered him. James Rhodes, the Burgaston police, Natasha, Sam, Sharon, and Tony all managed to subdue the Winter Soldier at last. Baron Zemo would not be in this picture, as Bucky would be subdued way earlier. While the Winter Soldier has murdered Steve and capital punishment is deserving for him, T'Chaka felt that there is much to learn from the brainwashing used on the Winter Soldier. He told the rest of the Avengers that he would place him in a cryogenic sleep while they searched for a cure for him. The Avengers were hesitant at first and wanted Bucky to be killed, but they felt that they needed more answers to why Bucky killed Steve and the whole Hydra incident. As agreed, Bucky was placed to sleep. With the Avengers united on Earth, the events of Infinity War will be coming into play. This time, the Avengers would be united to face Thanos. As the original timeline, Thanos will send in his Black Order to scout the Avengers' strength. However, with the Avengers united, nobody will be going to space. Tony's Iron Legion would also be able to combat off the Black Order. The only Avenger who was not with them was Thor, who was involved in the events of Thor Ragnarok. The Avengers learned of Thanos' plan to acquire all of the stones. Realistically, that the Avengers were much stronger even with the absence of one of their amazing leaders, Captain America. Thanos would make his appearance earlier on Earth, as the battle on Titan would not occur. Thanos would have the power, soul, reality, and space stone at hand. He only lacked the Time Stone and Mind Stone, with Doctor Strange and Vision respectively. The Avengers sought help from Wakanda as they informed King T'Chaka and T'Challa about the grave danger Earth is facing. Together with the Avengers and Wakanda ready, it would almost be similar to Infinity War's colossal battle. Black Panther released Bucky from his sleep and gave him a vibranium arm in replacement of his previous arm. They felt like his previous arm has committed so many sins that they would perhaps feel better with his new arm. Should they survive the war, he will still be kept under custody of Wakanda. The rest of the Avengers have not forgiven Bucky, but they knew that they needed all the help they could get to fight Thanos. Doctor Strange before went through the possible outcomes where they emerge victorious. He told Tony that there is only one outcome that's possible, but in the case it involves the snap to happen. This means that the Time and Mind Stone needed to be wielded with all the other stones. Tony and Banner told the rest of the team to hold Thanos and his armies while they try to extract the Mind Stone off of Vision with Shuri. Wanda was hesitant at first, but she knew that it was for the greater good of the Avengers. With Tony and Banner out of the battle, the Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor would arrive and missed the battle. The Avengers fought in a tight battle against Thanos and his armies. However, the battle was still an intense and close fight. The Mind Stone was extracted on time, leaving Vision dead. Now with the Mind Stone, with Doctor Strange, the Avengers tried to wrestle off the gauntlet from Thanos, just as they did on Titan. However, now with the combined strength of the Avengers, they tried to take down Thanos. Star-Lord wanted to punch Thanos after learning that Gamora was sacrificed for the Soul Stone. But this time, Natasha and Black Panther were able to hold him back this time. Thor dropped off Thanos' arm, and Thanos groaned in immense pain. Tony has previously created a similar gauntlet. He transferred the stones to his nanotech glove with the Mind and Time Stone. With the gauntlet almost complete, Tony wondered who would wear the gauntlet. Just then, Bucky came and tackled Tony off. Bucky took the gauntlet, and with his mechanical arm, he told the rest of the Avengers that it should be him who snaps. While he cannot repent for his sins for what he did to Steve 2 years ago, he can make things right now. Tony then said that Bucky would die if he snaps, as the immense energy would be too much for him. Bucky said that he knows what he must do, but with his Wakandan arm, he could do it. Bucky wore the gauntlet, and he felt a powerful flow of energy within him. The vibranium arm was almost to withstand the pressure from the gauntlet, and everyone around him was silent as they watched Bucky wore the gauntlet and snapped. Just then, Thanos and all of his armies were dusted, and Bucky lay down on the ground. The Avengers were victorious, but were shocked at the same time. Tony wanted to heal Bucky as his entire arm was burned, and he almost was charred. But Bucky refused, saying that he has done his part. Bucky said that he was sorry for killing Steve Rogers, and he will always remember him as a friend forever. Bucky then dies, and Thanos' armies were all decimated. The Avengers would hold a funeral in secret for Bucky, as he was still an enemy of the state. Falcon, meanwhile, became the new Captain America, as Tony believed that Captain America's legacy needs to live on. Of course, this means that Falcon and the Winter Soldier events would not happen. Towards the light, Bucky saw Steve and Peggy Carter waiting for him at a bar, telling him that it took him long enough to arrive before the trio smiled. And that is going to be for what if the Winter Soldier ended up killing Captain America in the second installment. Did you guys like this what if of Captain America ended up dying? I think eliminating Captain America would have been very intriguing. I think it would have been very interesting to see how the original MCU timeline would have been if Steve Rogers was eliminated early, because I think most of the events would play the same except for a critical part, that being the Civil War. I do think that Civil War would definitely be prevented. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this what if, and if you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe, like, share, and turn your notifications on so you and your friends are all up to date with the latest content. But anyways, as always guys, thanks for tuning in and have an amazing day.